The last couple of days have been soul-crushing for the Jewish people, as we've been plunged into collective mourning for the tragic loss, for the brutal murder of two young, precious Jewish souls, Kfir and Ariel Bibas, along with their mother Shiri. Hashem Yinkom Dama, may Hashem avenge their blood. We had hoped for 500 days that they would return home alive to their families, to their land, but our hopes have been dashed as they return in coffins to be buried. We have questions of how Hashem could allow such a tragedy to happen. How should we respond? How should we view it? I'd like to share a few words from a talk of the Lubavitcher Rebbe in 1992, when a young Jewish mother, a resident of Crown Heights, was brutally murdered by an attacker and gave up her life, al Kiddush Hashem, leaving young children behind. The Rebbe began by saying that we cannot comprehend or fathom the ways of God and how such a thing could happen. But it's not our way to linger on questions on Hashem, but rather to use this as an opportunity to cry out, Ad Mosai, enough, and demand that Hashem send us Moshiach and the redemption, when we will merit the resurrection of the dead. And amongst them will be, Ubitchilosam, and at their head will be the martyrs who gave up their lives for being Jewish. The Rebbe spoke about the greatness of those who die al Kiddush Hashem and the great heights that they reach, which far surpass any other spiritual accomplishment that a person could accomplish in a lifetime down here in this world. But despite that, after all of the greatness of those who die al Kiddush Hashem, we've had dai v'hoiser, we've had too many martyrs amongst the Jewish people. Too much Jewish blood has been spilt over the last thousands of years for Hashem's sake, al Kiddush Hashem. And so we cry out to Hashem Ad Mosai. How could it be that after such a long and bitter golus, there is still Mesiras Nefesh al Kiddush Hashem, and of a young mother with young children? The Rebbe said that we've been in golus for over 1900 years and Moshiach has not yet come. We've done everything that we can to bring about Moshiach, and yet, instead of coming to the redemption, we have more suffering, including the most terrible tragedy of the loss of a Jewish mother with young children who had to die al Kiddush Hashem. The Rebbe said that the only nechama, the only comfort that we could have for such a tragic event is that this will be, be'ezras Hashem, the final act of Mesiras Nefesh, the final act of Kiddush Hashem in Golus, and that in the merit of the martyr, this young woman who gave up her life for Hashem's sake, and in the merit of all of those who've given up their lives for being Jewish throughout all of the generation, we will merit the immediate redemption. Only that can be the true comfort for the Jewish people. The same perhaps could be said in these times as well. We cannot understand the tragedy. We cannot understand Hashem's ways and why such a thing could happen. A young mother, and in this instance young children too, being martyred, being killed for the reason only that they were Jewish. The only nechama, the only comfort that Hashem can give to us, and the comfort that we need to demand from Him, is that this is the last Jewish blood to be spilled in Golus. This is the last time Jewish people will have to give up their lives for Hashem's sake, and that Hashem will send us the ultimate comfort, the coming of Mashiach, the resurrection of the dead, when we'll be reunited with all of those whom we've lost, and at their head, at the greatest of heights, the highest in rank, will be those who gave up their lives for no other reason than being Jewish. Young mothers, young children, men, women, and elderly throughout all of the generation. But the one which is rawest at the moment, the one which hits home to all of us, Kfir, Ariel, and Shiri, will lead us to the redemption with Moshiach, when we'll see the eradication of all evil from the face of the earth, and those monsters in Gaza and Hamas and all of the enemies of the Jewish people will be punished, and then we will live securely in peace and in joy, living life as Jews in peace and security.